Da, da, da,
Have a tree on, you know.
da, da, da. We are live. There we go. So, I think Vic's just wandered off to go and put the Christmas tree lights on or something like that. She obviously feels better with the lights on. It's a good job you can't see her. Good morning, good morning,
Morning.
morning. So today it's my chance. Now I've just got the reflection of you in the mirror.
I don't have my office today, guys, so it's a bit of an odd placement. Is that better?
So that looks really festive.
Do my radiator and my tree now.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So this morning it's my turn to pick a topic. And I'm going to do something that is really, really, really important to me, which is investing in yourself.
Ooh,
Um,
nice topic.
yeah. And I think that the one of the reasons I picked it is that I think that people massively underestimate the amount that you need to invest in yourself. And I also think it's a really broad topic as well, because it covers, like, when you first think about investing in yourself, like investment, you think money, and that is part of it. And I do want us to talk about that today. But it's a massive part of investing in yourself is about time. And I really don't think that people give themselves enough time. Like in the first instance, what pops into your head with that phrase investing in yourself, Vic?
I'll be honest, I think it's actually about sacrifice. So you have to sacrifice something to then invest in yourself. So whether you're sacrificing watching Netflix documentaries in the evening, whether you're sacrificing going to Starbucks and spending that £7 on a coffee you're going to spend on buying a self-development book, there's always comes a sacrifice, and it's the more you're willing to sacrifice in return to develop yourself and invest in your own improvement, I think the better you are.
I think that's a really good point. I really, really do. And often the conversations that I have when I'm coaching people and they're talking about how difficult they find it to invest in themselves, maybe because their life's really busy, because they don't have any money, a variety of reasons. I always push back and call them on it. And like, am I right, Vic? Did you say that like I'm not allowed to swear on a Facebook Live? Like,
Let's well, if we lose the video, it's your fault, so go for it.
right, okay, that's fine, that's fine. I can take responsibility for anything. I always say bollocks, absolute, total, and utter. Because it is anything that you want to do in life is about prioritization. And whether you consciously prioritize things or subconsciously prioritize things, you prioritize every single solitary day. Think about something that you really, really enjoy and you get a lot out of it. I don't care whether that's staying in bed, watching a television program, scrolling through social media, walking the dog, whatever it is, if it's something that really, really floats your boat, consciously and subconsciously, you prioritize that and you make it happen. And I always say to people when they're telling me how difficult something is for them to do, because they don't have enough time. They're useless with technology. They don't get this, that, and the other. My challenge is always, right, okay, so there's £1 million on the table right now. Would you be able to make X happen? The thing that's gonna shape and change you and develop you and make you grow and stretch. That
I
you're
mean, I'll
scared.
be honest, Nick, I'd do it for 50 quid. You haven't got to give me a million.
I love that. I love that. You're so cheap. You're such a cheap date, Vic. It's like all of a sudden your priorities change, like massively, because it's like there's some money on the table. Like, yeah, I'd move heaven and hell to make that happen. But hold on a second. 30 seconds ago, this was impossible for you. So for me, it's about removing those excuses to start off with, because they are just excuses. That's all they are, is excuses. If you want something to happen, you'll find a way to make it happen. So the bit that I think that conversations tend to naturally go to is, let's understand why you're not prioritizing X. Why do you think it's not worth investing some money in growing yourself? Why do you think you're not worth the time that it would take to learn this new thing? what's the bit behind this that's going to make a massive difference to you? Because I know for me 100%, and as Vic and I've worked together more and more, I know for her, although we do it really differently, self-development and personal growth is it's like one of our reasons for getting up in the morning. It like I know that my life wouldn't be worth living if I wasn't growing, if I wasn't developing, if I wasn't investing in making things better, easier, happier for myself, challenging the grey matter up here, like something that makes me think really, really hard. They're things that just absolutely float my boat. And I get for some people it puts the fear of God in them, but it's only because you've not done it.
Well, and also I think people are scared of it because sometimes they're really channeled into self-development just having one meaning. And I say that because I think it's this fluffy stuff that's all about the universe and, let's have some positive mindset books because I'm just going to have affirmations in the mirror and all these mantras and things like that. But actually, that's just one tiny segment of what self-development could be for one person. And that's the kind of self-development that floats my boat because I'm very much put it out to the universe and it will come back, right? Nick is the complete opposite. She's squirming right now. She's absolutely squirming. Nick is the complete opposite. She is very much, I will read a sales book because I'm not very good at sales. I will, she's very much matter of fact when it comes to her self-development. But also it's about knowing how you want to grow as a person without the business, without digging deep into your core values and working out, right, how do I want to make this value in me stronger? How do I surround myself with these kinds of people? And it actually ties into most of the lessons that we've done throughout the month of December with it's about thinking deeper, having those moments of reflection and working out what is it that you want to improve.
I'm absolutely with you on the tie-in. As we're chatting here, I'm thinking like, my God, this goes all the way back to your vision and getting that crystal clear. Because one of the things is that, especially if you've got a really powerful vision, something that you're working towards, a big question that you need to ask yourself is the person that's reached that place, the person that's got the things that are in your vision, how are they different to the person that you are today? Because I think that's one thing that puts people off, isn't it? Is, well, I'd love to have this be this, do that, but like, I don't think that I can. And part of that whole goal setting is thinking about, like, right, okay, so that person needs to be better at selling perhaps, or needs to have more knowledge on social media, or needs this, that, and the other, and that's not who I am. You've just created your first goal on self-development of an area that you need to work on. And the great thing is that you then get to pick the strategy on how you approach that. What will work best for you as an individual on how to improve in that area? Are you like me? Do you want to read a book, watch a YouTube video, teach yourself how to do it? Do you find somebody actually showing you how to do it really works? Do you want videos? Do you want like, are you a practical person that needs to physically be doing it yourself to learn? All of this is investing in yourself, finding out your learning style, what works best for you in learning style. That's like a massive hurdle that you've got over if you've figured that out for yourself. Just spending the time working out, how do I learn best? Not, you're not looking at how to measure yourself against anyone else. It's always about what suits me the best. What's the best way that I can get from A to B? And it doesn't really matter what it is. But if you don't take the time to invest in yourself, you're going to look forward in a year's time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and you'll still be that original person. And I just think that that's a crying shame because everybody that I work with is filled with potential, just waiting to be unleashed. And it just takes time and prioritizing that investment in yourself. How much thinking time do you carve out in a given week? I don't know about you, Vic, but that has always been something that I used to struggle with so much. And it goes back to that fear of the blank piece of paper, that like real fear
Busyness,
of,
though, I think we really struggle, especially like it's so much now with all the distractions, social media, telly on in the background, news coming on the, radio. There's always constant things going on. So actually having that blank mind space is actually really rare. And until you put yourself into a situation of actually no background noise, turning your phone off, removing the notifications, until you actually physically put yourself in that situation, you don't have that space to just have your own thoughts. And I think that's quite a sad thing now because we don't have time to think the way we used to because there is so much going on and we're so busy all of the time as a society. But what I do think is really important is carving out that hour, even if it's just 1 hour a week, to say, right, this is the hour that I'm gonna turn my phone off, have no distractions, sit in a quiet room, or walk up a mountain, or, have a bath. It's just that hour to just quieten your brain, quieten everything around you, and just see what your brain does. Because actually, we are built to want to learn, we are built to want to progress. It's our environment around us that actually stops that from happening. But if you just put you as a human being in the wild, you would learn how to catch your own food, you would learn how to run faster. Like, all of these things because that's the way we are built. But it's the distractions around us that just stop that from happening. And they're the things you have to get rid of first. And when I talk about sacrifice for self development, it's not stopping all of your hobbies and, listening to an audiobook for 7 hours a week. It's not stopping spending anything on treats and, spending all of your money on other things. What it is doing is just being really conscious of, actually, I'm spending 5 hours watching this box set. Maybe I could reduce it to four and spend an hour just in silence and working out what I need to do to better myself for the following week, for the following month. I've had a Starbucks this week. Do I really need another one? Or can I put that £7 towards buying an audiobook or, going out for coffee with someone who really inspires me instead of just being on my own going for a drive-through? It's just reprogramming what is it that we're doing and just figuring out what's important.
and if you're like me, so when I agree with everything that you're saying there, Vic, but there's one bit that just puts the fear of God in me, and it really does like make me feel uncomfortable, which is that doing nothing. Now, I know that what you're talking about, the quieting of the mind, is absolutely the most valuable thing that I've ever learned to do in my life. But the doing nothing, something about me, I just can't do that. It just is really, really difficult. And I thought that meant that I couldn't have that reflection time because I really struggle to do absolutely nothing. There's just like all I do is just think I'm doing nothing. I'm doing like it doesn't ever quieten. But what I found, and you mentioned it, I found like going out and walking. I started like my um running, like listening to audiobooks, and from time to time I do still listen to audiobooks, but what I also do is switch everything off. And for me, it really works to be doing something physical, but mentally having no stimulation. So I'm not listening to music, I'm not listening to an audio book, there's no one else to talk to. You just end up in that quiet, the mind just gradually, it starts with lots of thoughts, you're thinking about this and you're thinking about that. And then just if it's long enough, and it doesn't need to be hours and hours, but I tend to find after about the first 10 minutes, those thoughts start to quieten down about, "Oh, mustn't forget to do this, mustn't forget to do that." It starts to quieten down. And then do you know what I discovered happens as that quietness comes about? From nowhere, I find solutions to things that kind of put on the back burner because I didn't know how to solve. And it's like not thinking about that problem. It's just like fairy dust, honestly, where the solution just sort of floats down of like, have you thought of this? And it's only because I've provided that space where my brain isn't being bombarded. So the only reason I'm sharing that with you is that if like me you struggle with the thought of just sitting doing nothing and it feels so alien, maybe try doing something that keeps you physically busy. I'm not suggesting you start running. You might go for a walk. You might do something mundane with your hands that doesn't need any mental capacity.
I find colouring's really good.
Yeah.
Those adult colouring books, I find that really good. But also like silence in the car, just not having the radio on when you're driving, especially driving long distance, turning everything off and just having silence in the car, I find really good. You're not going to catch me running anywhere, Nick. I will walk. You are not going to catch me running anywhere. But those are other things that you could try and do as well.
And I think, you know, when people are looking at different things, I mean, obviously Vic and I run a business, and we want you to spend some money with us. I'd be like completely lying if I was saying that we didn't want you to do that, because of course we do. When you're looking at investing some kind of money in yourself, I think this is why we always offer the discovery calls, because it's an opportunity for you to be able to check to see whether, like what we were just talking about, you know, where Vic likes manifestation and it does something really powerful for her. I think it's a load of mumbo jumbo and leaves like a bad taste in my mouth. Not everything is going to suit everybody. And part of the reason for the discovery call is this that checking, like, is this a good match? Does this work for you? But when people's immediate answer is, I can't afford that, I come out with my swear word again, because if it was a takeaway, magically you'd find the money for it. And it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. It is about prioritizing and how high up the list you put, actually, I want to get to where I need to go and I need some help and support to be able to do that. So just have a really good think about, how do you prioritize yourself? How do you How do you plan on getting where you want to get? What kind of support is it that you need? What does it look like? What's your learning style? And if you just did that over the Christmas break, you'd be miles ahead of most people. You really, really would be miles ahead of most people on your journey to getting where you want to be. Have you got anything else to add, Vic?
I just think be patient with yourself and don't expect this to happen overnight. So if you've never done this before, just be patient with yourself because all things take time. This will be going to from really, really busy, overstimulated, not being able to self-develop, think, or anything like that. You're going to now be on a journey and you've got to be really patient with yourself. This isn't going to happen overnight. And just be really regimented with actually, I'm not going to pick 6 till 7 on a Sunday, but you are going to carve out a couple of hours during the week. So be regimented in that sense and quite strict with yourself, but don't plan for, yep, 6 o'clock, right, turn everything off. I'm going to go sit in my bedroom because it's not going to come like that. It needs to happen when you're ready. But just make sure you are ready and you don't use the readiness as an excuse. But that's all I would add. And I would just like to say thanks for tuning in, guys. Hashtag replay if you are watching. We are going to release all of these videos and series on our YouTube channel for you to catch up on. But we've got four left, haven't we, Nick, now?
It's your turn tomorrow, Vic. 10 a.m. again tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.